lot of questions that I'm seeing is, what can I do to be there for someone that is struggling? How do I get out of my mindset that I'm not good enough for a relationship, school, or sports? Another question was, will things get better? How do you make friends? And how can you be yourself? Welcome back to another video. So for today's video, it's going to be getting very serious, but also will be super fun. Here for this video, I have Smith Ali, and he'll introduce him a little bit. So just
I'm Smith. Kesley and I met like 3 months ago.
Yeah, 3 months ago.
Around there. I'm a public speaker, so I've had some mental health troubles in my life, and now I want to spread hope and healing. We're doing a concert in June 11th here in Utah. It's a suicide prevention concert, so we're gonna have lots of mental health resources and things like that, just so that people can have the tools to get better. We know that everyone's having a hard time, and we've seen that reading through your guys' questions and your comments. We know that everybody has just something heavy on their heart. It might be something super serious, it could be something like small, like school and dating. And so I think we just wanna kinda answer your questions. Some serious and others just lighthearted, and we want to make sure that you guys know that you aren't alone and that you don't have to go through stuff by yourself.
Yeah, so the concert's called You Are Gold. I will put a link down below to get some tickets. It's here in Utah, Ogden, Utah. If you guys can make it, it'll be totally awesome. I'll be there. Smith Ali will be there. I'll be talking a little bit. Not like a full-on talk, I don't think, but I'll just be there. So you guys should definitely come. But yeah, I asked you guys on Instagram some questions about depression or suicide, but I also asked you guys to give me, or us, questions about any advice that you guys want. We're gonna answer some of those questions. Let's start with something a little easy right now. Most of the questions are about school. A lot of them are how you can stay motivated, how to not procrastinate, and that's actually something that I struggled with 2 years ago, no, a whole year ago too. Especially around COVID time, it was so hard to be motivated in school. I didn't ever want to go. But something that's helped me is I make little to-do lists on my notes on my phone. And I feel like that's kept me motivated because it makes me want to check it off and make sure I have it all done. And it helps me also get good grades because I stay ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that's always been hard for me, especially because I hate school, and so I never want to actually do what I'm supposed to do. I want to be doing the stuff that I actually love. So I think it's important to know things that you want to do and things that you have to do, and that they're both equally important. Even though I don't want to go to a lot of school, even though school's not my passion, and I'm never gonna be a doctor or an engineer, and I don't need to learn math for anything, I still have to go to school. And so I understand that that's a necessity, but I'm still gonna do the things that I love. And I think that it's important to always have something that fulfills you and something that makes you happy, and still chase those passions.
Another one about school is tips for going into high school. They're gonna be a freshman next year, so congrats. High school has been one of the best experiences in my life. I did middle school. It was really rough, 9th grade year, but high school has changed so much. I finally found who I was and who I wanted to be, and I also found the work ethic that I can do and everything. If I were to give you any tip, make sure to be positive. Make sure not to gossip. That's also another thing, especially in middle school, not to gossip, but in high school, that's also another thing. You don't want to go around gossiping because then it will just come back at you and just never turns out good. And then, like Smith Ali kind of said, you just kind of have to be positive about school.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Just keep a good attitude. When you get into high school, there's a lot of people who will try and accept you. And I think it's always important to make sure that those people actually care about you. I don't know if you felt the same way, but when I first got into high school, it was these people who immediately, it felt like they were trying to be my friends, but they really didn't have my best interest at heart. And so I always say it's okay to wait to figure out who your real friends are. And I always say, like, find friends who really care about you and who feel like family. The second thing is just cherish it and be kind, because you'll never regret being kind to somebody. And there are a lot of people in high school who just feel alone, and you can change somebody's life. Even something small like smiling at everyone you see and waving at people, or like learning someone's name who isn't popular. And so if you can be the nice person, I feel like you'll always be the popular person too.
That's so true. I totally agree with that. And also with the whole friend thing, it took me like a whole year to actually find my friends. And you guys have met them, you've seen how amazing they are, and it was totally worth it. So don't be like in a rush to find people, because you will come across a lot of fake people, but you will come across people who are pretty amazing and who will actually like you for you. The advice that I have been given from you guys is also to live the moment, kind of like what you said. You want to like cherish it and live it. I'm always going back to like 2019, which I totally can. It was the happiest time of my life, but it's also something that like I kind of just have to leave in my past and also focus on stuff that's in front of me, and life will just be like better. You can cherish the moments and be like, oh my gosh, that was actually so fun, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So
I think there's also a difference between being friends and being friendly. Like, I've talked to a lot of people who feel like they are losing their friend, or who don't know how to cut ties with a bad friend, or something like that. And I think it's important to understand that you should be friendly to everyone, but you don't have to be friends with everyone. And like, you should keep the people who really care about you close, and those people are your friends. But not everybody has to be your friend. You can still be friendly to everyone. People don't know what to do in those hard situations where maybe someone's a bad influence in their life, or maybe someone's kind of getting them into a toxic or a dramatic situation. And so then I think it's important to still like be friendly to everyone, but that doesn't mean you have to continue to like spend all your time with them.
we're gonna get into some deeper stuff, just a little bit, not too deep. A lot of questions that I'm seeing is, what can I do to be there for someone that is struggling? This isn't my strong suit. I don't know too much about this stuff, but Smith Alley does, so he's gonna be answering most of these questions. He's really good at it.
I think we should just start out by saying, if you or someone you know is struggling and is having struggles with depression or suicide, that there is help for you. Make sure that you have the National Suicide Prevention Hotline in your phone, and that you can call that if you or someone you know is struggling. That's 1-800-273-8255. So I feel like we should just blanket it with that, because of course, we're not therapists, we're just high school students.
Yeah.
But if you need help, there is help out there for you. One of my favorite speakers always said that you build a fire, and your fire is kind of like your energy, and it's how much you have left in your tank, kind of. It's everything that you've built to become yourself. And a lot of people are just wandering, lost, and they don't have anything warm to sit by, and they'll ask you to leave your fire to come rescue them. And he said, build a strong fire and let people come sit by you, but don't ever leave your own fire to rescue someone else. And so it's always important that you put your mental health and what you're dealing with first, and make sure that you're strong and you're not burnt out before you go help someone. Because it's not gonna help anyone if you struggle even more helping someone not struggle, right? So I remember one time I was helping a friend, and I had just had a huge week, and I kind of got to this breaking point where I was just so anxious and I had a meltdown. I had to tell her to go get some professional help and to, call the Lifeline and to go talk to her parents and kind of push her towards other resources, because I was in a place where I couldn't help her. Push them to get help, whether that's getting a therapist or talking to a school counselor or a parent or a trusted adult, a sibling, whatever that is. Push them to get help and to talk about it with someone who can get them further help. And then I'd also say, just to continue to love them. Sometimes the best thing that you can do for someone is to take their mind off things.
Yeah.
And maybe that's you go on a drive and get food and blare loud music, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
It can be something so simple. Even just saying something like, I'm here for you. Now do you want to go hang out and have some fun?
those words, I will be there for you, I feel like is a big impact. Another question was, will things get better? And I believe in this whole thing about getting better 100%. I have seen it and I have been through it. There's been times in my life where I've just been super sad, almost to the point where it is depression, but things will always get better no matter what. And I've seen people and know people that have been through such hard times, but then they become super strong and loving and just so happy.
People say like you can't have the rainbow without the rain. I've always seen in my life that sometimes what I view as my worst struggles become my best strengths, because I'm able to like open up about them and help other people because of that. And so I'd say, yeah, just like keep pushing wherever you are. Keep going, because there will be one day where you look back and you will just be so grateful that you kept going.
Obviously, you don't see everything on social media and it makes it seem like everyone's super happy, but I can tell you that lately it's been super hard and I haven't been the happiest person, but I again, just put a smile on my face, which I feel like definitely helps me become a little more happier, because I'm positive and I'm also just trying to be happy for you guys, which I think makes me happy. The best advice for just if you're going through a hard time is just try to be positive and just try to be happy. Put a smile on your face and I promise you it will help so much. It's definitely helped me.
I think attitude and your feelings is a big part of it is just a choice, and it's just deciding like whatever's going on in my life, it's not going to affect me and I'm going to keep going.
A good question is, how do I get out of my mindset that I'm not good enough for relationships, school, or sports?
I think that everyone has felt like just insufficient at some point in their life, right? Just like felt like they're not good, whether it's something simple like I'm not smart enough to pass this math test, or I'm not smart enough to write this essay, but it can be bigger things too, like I'm not good enough for this relationship, or I'm not good enough for this person. I think that it's important that we learn to love ourselves, because the most important thing is that you're good enough for yourself, and that no matter where you are or where anyone else is, that you love yourself and you understand that like you deserve to be happy. But I think the second thing is, if you don't like where you are right now, the best thing to do is to actively do things that make you happier. You talked about your to-do list and how checking those things off make you happier. Your mom posted about how lately you've been waking up really early and working out every day, and I'm sure that makes you feel better every single day. Like it's just proven to help you. And so I think if you can create goals of the things that you want to accomplish, and it's as simple as a to-do list, just start checking them off every day, I think you'll start to love yourself more. You begin to like build the person that you want to be.
That's actually so funny, because I was doing a packet for school. It was on dating and everything. And the biggest advice that they said in the packet was, you have to love yourself before you get into a relationship, which I thought was like, oh my gosh, like I never realized it. Like I feel like people who don't really love themselves and they get into a relationship, they really, really try and make sure the other person's happy, and then they get nervous and insecure and everything like that. I just think that is a big thing with honestly everything, but also a lot in relationships, is you have to love yourself first. That's something that I have been working on for myself, is to love myself, and I feel like it's definitely improved a lot of my relationships with, it could be anyone, it could be boyfriend, it could be a girlfriend, it could be your mom, your dad, your friend, just anything.
People like want other people to make them whole, right? And that's in anything. If it's, again, like a parent or a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a friend, people want other people to make them whole. And I think if you put two people who aren't whole yet together, it doesn't even equal one, right? It's like less than one. Those tendencies tear each other down, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And so I think that's a huge point, is you have to be in a position where you're ready for yourself, and that you love yourself and you're confident in yourself, so that you know, like, no matter what, like, you're a catch, right? It's like you deserve everything. And that way, when you meet someone else who's the same way, you can build something amazing and beautiful together. And again, that's no matter who that person is, if it's a friend or a parent, a sibling, a boyfriend or girlfriend, I think that if you can just do those things to better yourself, then when you're ready for that relationship, you can better the other person too.
Best tips on slowly dropping your bad friends and making new friends. You can start off by kind of separating yourself from like hanging out with them. So if they ask you to hang out, don't go. If you really think that they are just not good for you, or they're just not a good example for you or on you, then just stay away from hanging out with them. Eventually, I feel like the earth just works its way and everyone will just kind of spread apart. And talk to other people, talk to some new friends. I think something that I've been like working on is I try to compliment at least 5 strangers every day at school, and I think that's a great way of making friends. You can compliment people, and I feel like in a way it will just bring a connection.
I think it's that same thing, like you can be friendly but not friends. And I think it's all about, like what you said, just who you spend your time with. If you have a bad friend and you're trying to kind of step away from them, still be friendly. And I'd say like it's okay to make up excuses too.
Yeah.
As to like to protect their feelings, as to why you're not spending time with them. It's okay to make up excuses and say that you have, you know, something going on, but you don't have to spend your time with them. And then the opposite is true, where if you want new good friends, then spend time and put time into spending time with those people who are good friends and who are going to become good friends. And I love that part about like just complimenting new people and kind of like exploring the horizons of who's out there.
I think these are interesting questions. This is a little off topic, but I just thought, oh, what do guys look for in girls? What do you look for in girls?
I think for me, the biggest thing is like support, like wanting to spend time. I think that's one of my love languages is like, again, just time.
Quality time.
Yeah, and so I think someone who wants to spend time with me, that's a huge thing. I love people who are, again, like it's the kindest thing. I love people who are nice, and not just nice to me, but nice to everyone. If you are talking to someone who's nice to you but isn't nice to other people, you'll realize that like soon enough, then they're not nice to you, right? Because
yeah, for sure.
they're only being kind to you at first to impress you, and then once that kind of new phase is over, then you're just like everyone else. I want someone who is like prioritizes me because I'm gonna prioritize them.
Kindness is the biggest thing. Personality, I feel like for me, just has to be like, you know, like a good one, not someone who's just fake or rude or anything like that. And also quality time is a good one. That's kind of like my love language too. But I also have like, everyone has different like love languages. And I think another one is just accepting differences. I think that's a very good one. Accepting things that they like, even if you don't like them, just accept them, and also like maybe just try it out.
Even if you don't like it and it's something they're super passionate about, and of course obviously if it's a good thing, then try it. And even if you have to kind of fake being interested just to show them that you support them, I think that's a good thing to have.
How do you make friends, and how can you like be yourself?
I think that it's best to be yourself when you're trying to make friends. Nobody wants somebody who's not being their genuine self. Kind of going along with that is being a leader almost in your friend group. And if there's something that you like, be vocal about that. And I think that, again, kind of how you talked about the pickleball. Someone talked about pickleball and you weren't interested at first, but then after actually trying it, you're like, oh, I love this sport and I love to do this. And I think it can be the same with anything. Like, no matter where you are or what you're interested in, talk about it. And, you know, maybe throw it out there for an activity to do with your friends, because I think you'll be surprised at the amount of people who are like, first of all, willing to try new things that they've never tried before, but also people who will think that you're awesome because of those different ideas that you have. I know people that I'm friends with that I think they're so cool just because they're so unique, you know, and they're just so themselves.
This is something that I actually struggle with. I have really high anxiety. I get anxiety attacks. It stopped for a little bit these past couple of months, and then I just had another one yesterday. But it's like, what are some ways to calm anxiety? Something that I do is I literally just breathe. Like I have, you know, like on your Apple Watch, you have like the mindfulness like app or whatever that just like lets you just breathe, and you can just follow the thing and it will let you breathe. And that's just something that helps me with my anxiety. It cools my heart down a little bit and also makes my anxiety just go away a little bit. Also, again, to-do lists, I feel like help realize how much you actually don't have to do, because I start stressing about things. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much to do. This is like crazy, you know, and like I'll start having anxiety about it. But really, I don't, and I can get it done all in one day if I just realize how much like it's not that hard or whatever. And also just, again, breathing, and also I take a yoga class, and that helps me a lot.
I think giving yourself time to just like sit there and be with your thoughts is good. And if you don't, you know, if you don't have an Apple Watch or if you don't use an app or anything like that, I think there's a breathing exercise, and it's called, I think, 4-8-12. Have you heard about that? I think you do four breaths in through your nose, and then 8 out through your mouth, and then 12 in through your nose again. And so try that. Look it up. It'll be out there, but I think that's a good one. It's just like counting your breaths. Ice rollers can help with anxiety. There's I think it's a nerve like in your chest right here that when it gets inflamed, that it causes anxiety attacks. I saw this on Instagram the other day.
Smith knows like all the ways. I didn't even know that. We'll answer one more question, a little more deeper on the deeper side, but is suicide selfish?
Yeah, this is a good question. And I think that things have changed a lot, especially over time. When our parents were growing up, a lot of people that thought that suicide was super selfish, and I think that we're getting out of that. You just can't understand, especially with mental illness and everything that we know about that today, you can't understand what people are going through. Suicide is not a selfish act. On the other hand, so many people are struggling with depression, anxiety, self-harm, suicidal thoughts. I mean, we're just seeing that today. Like, so many people are struggling with these things, and it's so sad to see. If you are, you can get help at 1-800-273-8255. But there's also some things that you can do yourself to help you overcome those thoughts. Again, those things like we talked about, breathing and doing things like that, those can all be helpful. I think the best thing is to look at your life in perspective and to think about the fact that you've gotten through 100% of the hard days that you've ever had, right? You've already gone through so much, and you've gotten through it all. Like, you are so strong. Keep going. Kesley knows, and I'm very open about my story, but in 8th grade I decided that I was going to take my life, and I was saved from that. I had a few experiences that really saved my life, but being able to help people and talk about it, I'm so glad now that I decided to stay. And I'm so glad now because I get to have so many experiences that I would have missed. I got to see my niece be born, and I get to hold my niece and play with her, and I get to, you know, have these friends that I would have never had I taken my life. And so remember that, like, there's a path ahead of you, and you can achieve, and you can have the life that you want. Don't decide to better yourself for anyone else. Do it for yourself, because I promise you that your life is going to get better. Going back to the question about suicide being selfish, remember that the people going through that, it's hard to understand what they're thinking. It's often not just a call for attention. And so that's why Kesley and I always say be kind, because you never know what someone's going through. You never know, you know, what somebody has planned, and you never know what they're dealing with in their life. You never know what's going on at home or with their girlfriend or boyfriend or a friend, a grandparent. You never know what's going on. And so if you can treat people with kindness, you can be the reason that somebody stays. I think it's very easy to feel like you don't have an impact, right? Mm-hmm. But you'll never understand the amount of people that you've helped because they don't tell you. I promise you, through your life, if you continue to be a kind and a positive person, if you continue to smile at people that you see, that you will change hundreds and hundreds of lives just by doing those small little things. We got a question about if the event will be online. We're probably going to make a video about it, about the concert, and so make sure that you stay tuned for that.
That's not just in person. You also have to be super kind through social media. I think that's also a really big problem in today's world is through social media, because everyone's just really brave behind that computer because no one can see them. But being kind through social media is probably one of the biggest impacts that anyone could ever do to someone. I know, for example, people can be really, really mean. I have seen mean comments, and it really does tear you down, and it really does ruin your day. But then I look at those nice comments, it's like, oh my gosh, you guys are literally so sweet. Like, I've like never thought about that. It's not hard to be kind. It's honestly kind of hard to be mean.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
So
it costs $0 to be kind.
yeah, seriously. His story is so amazing. If you guys want to go to his Instagram, he has a post of his whole story and everything, which I think is really cool. The way we met was he actually came and did a talk at this fireside, which is just basically an activity that my church put on. And I went, and he did a very like inspirational talk, and his story was super cool. And that's how I was like, oh my gosh, this is like so cool. And then I followed him, and you know, this is where we are.
The rest is history.
Yeah. You guys really need to check out the You Are Gold concert. I think it's super amazing. It's gonna be so much fun. There's gonna be really cool brands there. And also, oh, actually, I do wanna show one of the brands. This is Shine Cosmetics. I actually use some of their makeup, and it's amazing. I love their makeup. I was gonna do his makeup, but we planned on doing a Q&A instead. These are like funky colors that she put in here from Shine Cosmetics, but this is like a blush stick, and look how bright that orange is. I don't really know if you guys can see. We have like awesome foundation, eyeshadow, lip liner, lipstick, all that stuff. So you guys should definitely go check out Shine Cosmetics. Don't you have like a code for it?
Yeah, and that's a big thing. Like if you're out of state but still want to help, you know, we're doing, my foundation is called the Live Life Bigger Foundation. We're doing a lot of events to try and spread awareness on mental health. If you want to help but you're outside of the state, you can buy Shine Cosmetics maybe for yourself, for your mom, for a sibling, and you can use code GOLD, G-O-L-D, at checkout, and that'll give you, I think, 10% off, and then it'll also, they give us a kickback so that we can continue to spread awareness on mental health.
I really hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A. Let me know. I saw one DM saying that they bought a ticket, and I'm super excited to see you. So if you bought a ticket, let me know. I know it's kind of hard because a lot of you guys might be out of state or out of the United States. I just really hope this Q&A have helped a little bit. I'm not very strong in like the suicide talk, but Smith Alley is. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe down below, give this video a huge thumbs up, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.